the month. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order and announce that a quorum is present. I'll call on Randy Whitaker, Councilman Whitaker, to give the pledge and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Father, we thank you for all the many blessings that you bless this city with. Father, we thank you for being so kind to us when we're not kind. We thank you for all that you do, for all the grace that you give each and every one of us. Father, I pray for the mayor and the council tonight. I pray that you give us knowledge and wisdom and discernment for each and every issue that comes before us. Father, I pray that you'll watch over our community and keep it safe. And Father, that we'll be good stewards of the beauty here, the mountains and the rivers and the streams that you give us in charge of. Father, I pray for our military scattered throughout the world, that you keep them safe, make them successful, and bring them home and unite them back with their families. Father, I thank you for our city workers, those first responders, the police officers, the firemen, the public works, those that get out to clear our streets in bad weather, our electricity, our electric board workers that get out in the same type of situation. Father, keep all of them safe. And Father, I pray as we leave here tonight that you'll see each and every one of us to our destination safely. We ask these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Minutes of the February 4th, 2013 regular meeting have been distributed to the members of the council. Are there any corrections or additions to these minutes?
Make a motion we pass the, make a motion.
Councilman Myers makes a motion to pass the minutes.
Second.
Councilman Mosley seconds the motion. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? At this time, I'd like to call on our Personnel Director, Renee Bradley, to give a personnel report.
I would like to report to the council that to fill a vacant position of recycling coordinator, a job offer was made to Ms. Nicole Reyes. Interviews for this position was done by Dwayne Elder, Sam Howard, and myself. Ms. Reyes did accept the position, and she started on February the 13th. Presently, we have 2 openings for firefighter within the fire department, 1 for police officer, and 1 for lieutenant within the police department. We are currently accepting applications for these positions, and we expect to start interviews very soon to fill these. On February the 13th, the State Employees Insurance Board came on site to the city and did their annual wellness screenings for all of our full-time employees. This will have a direct impact on keeping our insurance premiums down. Also, that they will do a makeup day on February the 21st. We're hoping this will help meet our quota to do that. By alternating and giving those employees that work various shifts a chance to come and get their wellness screening. That concludes my report.
1 to 3, is that right?
Yes, 1 to 3 on the 21st at the rec center.
I move that we approve the report.
Councilman Whitaker makes a motion to approve the report.
I'll second.
Councilman Myers seconds the motion. Is there any discussion or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I'd like to commend our department heads on getting their employees to the health fair screening. So far, we've had a tremendous response, and I thank you. And please encourage those that did not show up last week to come Thursday. Moving right along, this portion of the meeting will serve as a public hearing to consider the restaurant liquor license for Jeremy South, doing business as Casey's Coyote Cafe, located at 410 Old Town Street. For those of you speaking in favor and opposition, I ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address. Is there anyone here in opposition? Is there anyone here in support? at one time to the podium. If there's no one here in opposition or support, I'll ask for a motion.
So,
Councilman Stewart made the motion.
second.
Councilman Mosley seconded the motion. Is there any discussion?
Just one question, is it Casey's County, is that the?
It is KC County Cafe. Okay, and we will consider changing the name at a further date.
Any other questions or discussion? At this time, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Stewart,
Yes.
Councilman Gillen,
Yes.
Councilman Carr,
Yes.
Councilman Mosley,
Yes.
Councilman Myers,
Yes.
Councilman Cornelius,
Yes.
Councilman Whitaker,
Abstain.
Mayor Dodd.
Yes. Liquor license is granted. Next, I would like to introduce the emergency management ordinance. This is just to introduce this ordinance. We will not be voting on it. This ordinance came as a result of the clerk's schooling, and hopefully we will never have to enact this ordinance, but it would be for an emergency situation such as April 27th. It will give the mayor powers to do certain things we will already have in place. We will not have to get the council together to do that. Does anyone have any questions regarding this ordinance? And I hope I never, ever have to invoke this ordinance during my term, for sure. But we will be prepared if we need such.
Question, Dan, if there is some minor changes between now and the next council meeting, we could approve the ordinance at that time with those changes, is that correct, or we have to?
Yeah, it depends on depends on the degree of the change, it makes kind of a judgment call, to be honest with you, but I think the safest thing to do, if you make changes, maybe let it later on, one time, just to be,
Yes.
we'll discuss that, depending on what changes are made.
Okay.
Any other questions? Next, we're also introducing an ordinance to annex property located on Fawcett Road, owned by Richard Lawson and Bill Waddell. Dwayne, would you like to say a few words? That's like being put on the spot.
This is actually 2 tracts of land. It's a 40-acre tract and a 29-acre tract. The property will go from Fawcett Road to Reed Road, and it's there and adjacent to the Lowe's property. It's a really nice piece of property. It'd be a good asset and a good addition to the city for future expansion for our city. So it's a really nice addition that we're going to have an opportunity to bring in.
And the planning board recommended this at
Yes.
their meeting
Yes.
last week. They are recommending this to us, but we will carry this over and will not actually vote tonight. Does anyone have any questions for?
Dwayne, let me ask you one thing, and make sure I am correct. That is a county road that property fronts, is that correct?
Yes.
On Reed Road?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So-
If this property comes in and the vote to bring it in, does that road still stay a county road?
That would be a decision, because the property on one side would be in the city and the property on the other side would still be in the county. There would be the city's option of whether to bring the road in. You know, if both pieces of property on both sides of the road were if the city was one side of the road and now you're bringing the other side, then it would need to be your street. But because it's a half and half, it would be something that you would need to consider.
Okay, so for the record, let me make this clear. If that property comes in city limits and it's developed, I want that road shut off and not connected to Reed Road. That's just for the record.
All right, now, and I'm having to think, you know, by memory here, Dwayne, when you say it goes from Lowe's, it goes in behind the houses that are in the city limits on Reed Road, is that, on Reed Road, is that correct?
It does come in back of them a small amount, but it fronts on Reed Road also.
Okay, then it goes all the way to Fawcett Road.
Yes.
Now, the portion where it touches Fawcett and the 29-acre tract, is that road in the?
No,
That's
because
county
both
road.
pieces, both sides of that, property on both sides of that road are in the county. That would be one of those where one side would be in the city and one side would be still in the county.
Okay. Okay.
And the majority of the land on Fawcett Road is in the county,
Yes, it is.
other than maybe one or two parcels.
Most of the Fawcett Road is in the county. Right as it touches Reed Road, there's a couple of pieces right there on the corner that are in the city, but the rest of it is in the county.
Do we need to make this determination at the time we annex the property? Do we, in terms of the road?
We already have properties like that, I know those where one side is in the voters are on one side of the road, the other in the other side of the county, we already had this situation.
What I'm asking is, do we need to make the determination about the road itself at the same time we annex?
Yes, that would make it clear, because the county's gonna ask, when they go to record this, you know, are you taking the road also?
Okay.
So that's something we'll need to think about between now and the next meeting. Any other questions? We will.
Yes.
Sorry, George.
I've just got one for Wayne also. Is your assessment of this property as a benefit to the city based on its potential as a residential area or as a commercial area or just in general?
Just in general, it has potential for both, either one, because of its close proximity to Lowe's, Captain D's, and in the 431. It would make it a good potential for future commercial growth, but it's also close to a residential area, so you could develop it either way.
So zoning would be an open issue.
No, when we annex property into the city, it automatically comes in as residential RS2.
Okay.
Then they would have to request the zoning to be changed if they wanted it other than residential.
So that would be the primary
Right.
use
RS
assumption.
RS2, that's single family?
Single family residential.
Okay.
Right. And that goes with the state statute. Even if you annex in a piece of property that already has an established business on it, they come in as residential, they have to change it, but they can still operate grandfathered in until the zoning is changed. All property comes in as residential.
Are there any other questions?
No, I was just asking, Wayne, if you would put a copy of that maybe in our box, or at least I would like to.
There was supposed to have been one in your packet this time, it got left out. We have a map of that area that we can get to.
Okay, thank you, sir.
One other thing, Wayne, someone be doing an assessment of the road as far as the condition of it and that nature?
It's poor to worse.
It's really cool.
Surely stuff in our county.
It is not in real good shape. The surface is in real bad condition. It's alligator. The shoulders are starting to break loose.
It's shot and chipped,
Needs a lot of work done.
and it's shot and chipped, it's not
No, it's not asphalt.
Yeah, it's shot and chipped, it's just
What they call
probably about 3 layers of
18
shot and chip over it.
Dwayne, how much does this front Reed Road, the project, rough? Is
I would
it
say
at the curve? Is it-
Yes, it's in the curve. It's probably 4,500 feet on Reed Road.
Okay.
It's quite a bit of frontage. There's more on Fawcett, it fronts more on Fawcett than it does on Reed. There's quite a bit of frontage on Fawcett.
From Lowe's to First
coming from the road, on the right, you see their property line.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dwayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Next, we're just also introducing a resolution. We will also carry this over to the next meeting to vacate a portion of Avalon Way located in Connors Island. This will make that piece of property more sellable. This also went before the planning board, and they have also recommended this. Does anyone have any questions regarding this? Okay, we'll take that up at the next meeting as well. Next on the agenda is board appointments. At this time, I would propose Greg Hunley for the library board, Jeannie Estes be reappointed for the tree board, Mike Rutland for the Historic Preservation Commission, and the reappointment of Bill Selnow and Lynn Selvage to the traffic board. Councilman Cornelius makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Myers seconds the motion. Is there any discussion or any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I would also just like to announce that Tim Bice has been reappointed to the Housing Authority Board. This is the only appointment made solely by the mayor, so he was reappointed and has accepted that reappointment.
Thank you.
I hope so. Next is the fire department refinance. I know Chief Battles was here last time and discussed the refinancing. We did receive a quote back from Am Fund, and I just wanted to update you on that. We have not signed anything, but we have gotten the terms back. It's at 1.84% over a 7-year period. We were expecting about 2%, so this was a little less than we thought. But we will keep you updated on that progress towards getting everything consolidated and getting those together. I just wanted to let you know that.
And, excuse me, Mayor, and that would keep the current payment we have on equipment basically the same.
Correct.
Or real close.
Yes, it will be very, very similar. That was part of the goal, was trying to get that payment to what we have been accustomed to. We have 3 years left on the current payment. This would be refinancing that and going out 4 years. So for a total of 7 years, we have 3 left, so we're truly just extending it 4 years, and maybe some way we can figure out how to get that even shorter. We would extend it 4 years, just so y'all, be sure y'all understand that. Any other questions regarding the refinance? Next, we sought bids for 40 lids and 26 cubic foot and 24 cubic foot dumpsters. The bids were opened on February 13th, and the low bidder was Baker's Waste Equipment of Valdez, North Carolina, with a bid of $35,966. This was a budgeted purchase. We did include this amount in the budget. So at this time, I would like to ask for a motion for the resolution to award the bid for the dumpsters and lids for the solid waste department. Councilman Cornelius makes a motion.
Second.
Councilman Myers seconds the motion. Are there any discussion or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, I know it's already too late, but let me ask, what's going to happen to the old ones?
Typically what happens is Ricky welds and fixes them as long as he can, and then at that time they take what parts they can to fix the other ones, and then they'll scrap the ones that are totally unusable. Did I say that correctly, Mom?
You did.
Good. Next, I would like to call on Morris Thurman of Somewhere regarding a special event license for a concert permit.
Yes, ma'am. There's actually what we need to do what we'd like to do is a letter on city letterhead that states that they recognize our lease addendum so that the ABC cannot issue a special events permit to a license holder on the same premise. So what they would like to do is extend our patio permit, which we already have, to include the parking lot. They just need a letter saying that the city's okay with that. Then, when we get that, we can decide again when to do the next outdoor concert.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do believe we have to do just like our next item on the agenda is the special event license. You have to actually come and apply for that. And the clerk may have to help me out here because she's much more familiar with the liquor laws than I am.
Well, I can't apply for it until the ABC receives a letter from the city stating that they just need, on city letterhead, that the city recognize our parking lot as part of the physical address where we're located. When ABC gets that, then they'll issue us a permit to extend our patio. I have a letter from the ABC, I want to see it.
The letter, you don't understand what they consider a letter. A letter is a vote of the council saying that we approve your concert. It's a vote of the council. It's not a letter on letterhead. It's the vote of the council. For a special event permit, they tell me all you have to do is get a special event permit, and then they're gonna issue one too.
According to the attorney in Montgomery, they cannot issue me a special event permit for an outdoor concert because we already hold a liquor license.
Because what?
We already hold a liquor license at that address. If I want to go to another address, they can do it, but not at this same address. Can't do it. So, according to their attorney, he says, I should get my glasses on.
Would you give that information to our city attorney and let him maybe contact that attorney in Montgomery?
He has to. It says, we hereby approve, he said, we will need a letter from the city, contains language to the effect. We hereby approve the expansion of the license premises of somewhere to include the area described in the attached list addendum, which is the parking lot. So they try to have a letter saying they're okay with it, and our parking lot becomes part of our patio. Then we'd come and get a special event license. Till I get this, I can't schedule, I just canceled an outdoor concert because I couldn't get this. So it's kind of, for us, it's a catch-22. I understand what you're saying, give it to the legal department. We've been dealing with the ABC legal department since September, and all they keep saying, we just need something on city letterhead that states we're okay with it. That the patio, the parking lot's considered part of the patio.
All right, I'm gonna have some other additional questions
Sure.
basically, if you're extending this to the parking lot, and what parking lot are we talking about? The one out front of the restaurant, or in the back where
The rear parking lot.
The rear parking lot?
Yes, sir.
I've got a question about how the noise, the bathroom facilities, the police, and the safety, how's all that gonna be handled in this outdoor event that you're talking about?
We fenced into our premise.
Saw that.
Okay, we bring in porta johns. We hire security. And I've talked to Chief Peterson about touring the facility and saying, here's how we ingress, egress, here's where our parking's at, and all that.
Well, my question is, if you're in the parking lot, is your event license, where's your parking gonna be for those?
I have a letter from Baltimore giving us the right to use an additional 2,500 spaces, their property and the property across Brown Street.
Cross Brown Creek?
I guess that's the name of the road, but it would be toward A-Route, yes, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're talking about the little road that goes, okay.
Yeah.
You're not talking about 431 crossing 4 lanes of traffic with people.
Well, I sure hope not.
I was hoping so.
I don't want that liability, no, sir.
All right.
How are you gonna stop it while they're parking across the street?
I can't, it's a public ramp, anybody can do it. We'll have lights and everything where we park and that sort of thing, but I can't stop anybody.
Thurman, can you put a sign out that kind of points parking this way so they know the turn?
Yeah, we'll probably bring in a couple air boards,
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
What kind of timeline are you talking about, starting and finishing?
Probably 4 p.m. to about 11 p.m.
And would this be on a Saturday or?
Friday or Saturday, it'd be a weekend day, yes, sir. You know, we own other facilities in like Middle Tennessee, and we've got 4 scheduled on Thursday nights up there. And ideally, it's cheaper for me to buy talent and mobilize everything from there Thursday to Friday, so 4 to 6 probably throughout, of course, the spring and summer, maybe early fall.
You are aware that we've got a sound ordinance and.
Very aware of that, yes, sir.
Because that location has had a lot of problems, I don't know if you know that, in the past.
Yes, sir, I have heard that, but we took over middle of June, and if I'm not correct, there's not been one complaint.
Everything's been inside, right?
Oh, yes,
Everything's inside.
yeah.
You talking about outside?
I mean, you know, what you do, you set your staging up, you set your sound up in a manner that it moves the sound away from the house. There's no houses, we're gonna point it towards the lake. We'll be actually in front of that one house that complains all the time. And what we'll do, we'll park buses between the stage and the house to go up the sound and try to push it on out over the water, and push it toward the bridge. And we'll actually angle the stage kind of toward the highway, so that the sound pushes that way as well.
Now, each event, Betty would have to have a special event license, right?
That's what ABC, people have told me, that's what.
Okay, so if you had 5 scheduled, you'll, through the course of the summer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Trial and error always helps.
I've been through a lot of trial and error so far. So I don't know what the next step is. I mean, if we can get the letter to the ABC, then they say you can go ahead and start planning if the city's cool with that, and, you know, I'll pick a date. You know, I've got to go to artists and say, hey, what dates do you have available? What artist is available? And then I've got to come to the city and say, hey, I can get this put together for this day.
So at that time, then you apply for a special event license.
Right.
So
Once
each
I-
concert would be a special event license.
Right, and the ones we have scheduled in Nashville, if all that comes together, then I can come and get like all 4 of those at one time, which will be the very next day, for the, you know, for monetary reasons.
Okay. Well, what we may want to do is let our city attorney review that and maybe talk to the ABC and see what we, you know, we can get that next up.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to do, whether we vote at the next council.
Put it out so people get some thoughts from people in the area, what their thoughts are.
Well, if it helps, the people here on Browns Creek, I had a little petition, all but one person I think on Browns Creek was signed. And I think most of the people, actually, there's 3 people that live in that area that are going to be sponsors of the concert. So, just, you know, if y'all would like a copy of that, I can have a copy made.
Can you get me a copy of the lease addendum and the map that
Your name, sir?
Morris Thurman. Here's a letter for the parking.
Morris, I like what you're doing. I think if it's all set up right, it sounds like you do business in several different places that you do this. I mean, I like what you're doing. I just hope that usually when they have a large event, there's a lot of people that try to get outside of town just a little bit because of the music and whatever, you know, and how long it's, you know, it's gonna be playing, and how loud it may be, or whatever like that. But I like what you're doing as far as, you know, bringing people together.
Well, the reason we want to do it here, obviously, is to make money. And, you know, to do it out of town, it wouldn't work for us. And, you know, we want to bring something to the city that they haven't seen in a while, and with the connections that we're having in Nashville, it's easy to do. You know, this past Saturday, we had a national tour act play inside to a really nice crowd.
Well, I was thinking if you ever wanted to move it like the state park would be an ideal situation. It's in the city limits, we get all the taxes off of it, and you know what we don't use.
We're not getting that. Good thing y'all consider that.
Did you get you got a copy of the petition?
I'd rather make a copy and bring it to them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a copy, you can give it to Dan.
I've even got a resident somewhere here. Where's Jeff Goodman? So he lives on Browns Creek.
Well, what I'm saying is
Yeah.
I'd like to have
Sure.
a copy of that for my own
Absolutely.
reference, because if something goes wrong, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look and see who signed it.
Does anyone have any other questions for Mr. Thurman?
Did they misspell it? It's got Thurman Morris Jr. on here. Is it supposed to be Morris Thurman?
His Morris Thurman.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Then the next item on the agenda is I would like to ask for a motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration to consider a special event license for Crawl Mamas for the Child Advocacy Center fundraiser at the venue located at 14114 Highway 431 South on March 16, 2013.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Councilman Whitaker makes a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
Councilman Myers seconds the motion. Is there any discussion or questions? At this time, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Stewart,
Yes.
Councilman Gillen,
Yes.
Councilman Carr,
Yes.
Councilman Mosley,
Yes.
Councilman Myers,
Yes.
Councilman Cornelius,
Yes.
Councilman Whitaker,
Yes.
Mayor Dawson.
Yes. The next is, I'd like to ask for a motion to consider the license for this.
So moved.
Councilman Mosley makes a motion. Councilman Cornelius seconds the motion. Is there any question or any discussion? If not, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Stewart,
Yes.
Councilman Gillen,
Yes.
Councilman Carr,
Yes.
Councilman Mosley,
Yes.
Councilman Myers,
Yes.
Councilman Cornelius,
Yes.
Councilman Whitaker,
Abstain.
Mayor Dawson.
Yes. At this time, that's all we have on the agenda. Is there anyone here that would like to come forward and say anything? If so, I ask you to state your name and your address.
Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Councilman Gillen makes a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilman Whitaker seconds the motion. All in favor? Thank you all for coming.